Morning ghouls. Dublin weather is back. Also, you guys, we're almost at a point where I can actually show you outside my window. Oh my god. The amount of videos I've taken like outside my window, I'm like, okay, I can't post this yet, but I'll post it one day. It like genuinely has been such a beautiful apartment, and to sit out and be able to watch the sunset, or to lie and watch the sunset whenever I'm still up, is so amazing. So anywho, it's something I'm so enjoyed from living here, and I will show you guys around my apartment before I leave for good. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the books. Okay, so as if I didn't have enough books that I'm about to show you that I got from the bookstore, not the bookstore, the library yesterday for Witches Week, and just kind of in general, they all came in at once. And then yesterday when I was there, I found like 3 really good books that I've been wanting to read. So I have a feeling I'm going to tell you guys, like after I show you all the books I got, the ones that I feel like I'll probably get through before I leave, and the ones that I won't. I do still have God of the Woods, so that might be just like go with me to Italy, like I don't know, but let's just get through it. Yeah, so the first one is one I actually bought. It is Capital by Rachel Harrison. I am very excited for this book. I found out recently I love Rachel Harrison's writing, so yeah, I'm very excited for this. It's a short little read. It's I think about 300 pages, and her books are horror, but they have a feminist twist in all of them, so really enjoyed that. This is one that I don't think I'll get to, but Hex in the City, I randomly found it, and I had seen it on TikTok when I was doing my research. Obviously it's a spin on Sex in the City, and it's giving Carrie Bradshaw, but all I needed to know was that A, it was a spin on Sex in the City, B, the main character's name was Poppy, so we have that. Next, this was just a find yesterday. I've been looking for this book everywhere. They had it at Hodges Figgis when I went with Kat the other day, and I was like, I cannot buy another book. But this book has been so hard to find. I'm actually kind of curious where it stands in the Riley Sager. This is the last Riley Sager book I have to read. Oh, it's his 3rd book, so it's after Last Time I Lied. So it's an early one. I'm very interested to see how I like it. It's also very interesting that, I guess that's just me, because I feel like 2019 was like yesterday, and it's definitely like, what is it, 7 years ago now? Is that right? Yeah, seven years ago now. So it's so funny that like 20, I guess it would have been 17, is the first year that Riley Sager wrote. And anyway, I'm very excited. I have not read this. I do not know anything. I kind of want to go into blind. I think it's based in New York. I'd say I want to go into blind, but I'm pretty sure it's based in New York, and it's like a new apartment, or maybe someone's like house sitting or something. I don't remember. I think that's the premise, but yeah, very excited for that one. Another one I just happened across. This was on my Vampires Week list, but it is a 600-page story, but it follows 3 different vampires, and I don't really know anything else, to be honest with you, other than it came highly recommended. And so when I saw it, I picked it up yesterday. So we have that. Once again, another one I saw and I just picked up, Private Dublin by James Patterson. I wanted to read it, where it takes place. It has a little picture of Dublin on the back. It has the penny bridge on the front. I really enjoyed reading Private London, obviously where it took place. And so I think it'd be fun to read it while I'm still here, but it is once again low on the totem pole. Whoa. Now we're getting more into Witches Week. Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I will say I did see a special edition of this when I was in London, and I was like, oh no, that's the first one I already read, so I didn't buy it. But it definitely was not the first one I already read. I read her first book, The Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I really like the UK covers, so this is one I probably would have bought, but nevertheless, here she is. I am very excited for this. I think they're like it kind of, the excerpt on the front says every single page is sweet, quirky, and charming, and that's how I kind of would describe them. They're very like quirky, cozy, wholesome books with a witch's twist. So for that, now this I didn't realize until I got home, this is the book that I bought, so I already have a copy of this, but I'm very excited to read this. This, once again, is going to be a longer one. It's 500 pages, but it has come so highly suggested. I've had booksellers suggest it to me. People obviously on the internet have suggested it if you're looking for a witchy read. So I'm very excited to read it. And yeah. And then last but not least is Witch Season. I have been seeing this in the bookstores. I've not heard anything on it. All I really know is that it's set in LA, and I really like the cover. I almost bought it when I was in Hodges Vegas a couple weeks ago, but it's one of those, like, some of the books here, they're obviously a US edition, so they're like 10 to 15 euros more. So like this one was like 25 euros versus the typical like 11 to like 15 euros. So yeah, anyhow. I'll show you the books that I'm for sure going to get through for Witches Week, and that would be these three. I'm also, oh, sorry, forgot these four. If I had to take bets, I would say I for sure will at least finish Cackle, Witch's Guide, and Witches Season. Just for Wayward Girls, I'm not super worried about because, like I said, I do have a physical copy. So that will be an issue if I don't get to that. And then I will be finishing this before I leave Ireland because I want to be able to get my official ranking of Riley Sager books out, and it's bittersweet, but yeah, so I'm very excited to read this, and people say it's a perfect like Halloween book because it's very spooky, as all his books are. And then honestly, I know for sure like I probably won't have time to get to these two because I do also have arcs that are due within the next like month, and then hopefully I'll get James Patterson TBD. Anyhow, so I wanted to add that to this video because originally I was just gonna add me reading Riley Sager's book to the Vampire Week, but since I got the second book, I was like, oh, I'll just make a Riley Sager reading vlog. And so in that case, it's not as long as the other vlogs. So, because I didn't realize I was filming it. So yeah, I will take you guys along as I read finish Home Before Dark, start Lock Every Door, and finish that one. So, okay. Love you guys. Hi. Okay, so we were gonna go finish the last 100 pages in a cafe. We're just gonna grab some lunch. I am still gonna go get lunch in a little bit, but I decided I'm gonna have my coffee, my last coffee. I was gonna have coffee there at home, and just sit here and finish the last 100 pages because it's getting juicy, it's getting good, and I would rather finish this book before I leave so I can start a new one. We have so many books to get through. So anyhow, here we go. I'm loving it so far. So basically, I did realize I have not talked about this book at all with you guys. So basically, as a kid, Maggie's dad writes a book called House of Horrors about this house that they bought and moved into, but ended up only staying, I can't remember how many days, but basically they leave in the dead of night when she's a child because the house is allegedly haunted, and she doesn't really remember what happened, and she's now an adult. It's like probably 20 or 30 years later. Let's see if it says back here. 25 years ago. Oh, it does say they spent 3 weeks there before fleeing in the middle of the night. So basically we're going back and forth between the recounting like chapters of House of Horrors and real time what's happening now 25 years later. And as we're going through the book, we're about 75% done. Whoops. About 75% done. Maggie is slowly realizing that maybe the book was not a lie as she thought and everyone said. So that's kind of where we're at. And yeah, I can't really say what just happened, but yeah, that's where we're at. I'm very intrigued. I have a thought of what it's gonna be, but I'm not sure. You guys, we have 30 pages left. Something crazy just happened. Obviously I can't tell you, but yeah. I think I might know a twist that's gonna come in the last few pages, but TBD. I knew it. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Okay. I knew it. I literally knew it. I was sitting here going, don't eat the pie, girl. Don't eat the pie. Oh my God. What did I just say? I knew it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Absolutely loved. Good morning. Hi. It's like 7:40, I think. I put my phone on the other side of the room last night to go to sleep, and I think I actually have. So, anywho, I just made my morning coffee. I ended up starting Lock Every Door. So this Riley Sager video may be up before even Vampire Week. I'm not sure. But I wanted to read I wanted to read more last night. So bad. But I was so tired, and I knew it if I started reading and I made a decent chunk, I was not gonna wanna not finish it before the night was up. So I did the adult thing and went to bed. Anywho, I think I'm gonna try to read like maybe 50, 100 pages, and then I'm gonna go to the cafe because I really want a pastry. Not a pastry, but like a croissant. And a cappuccino. So I'll go do that in a little bit, but we're gonna read some more before then. I'm really enjoying it so far. Did I talk to you guys about Home Before Dark? I don't think I did. Hi girls. Okay, it's now 9:12. I'm gonna try to read, let's see, what page am I on? I think like 50 more pages. Yeah, I'm on like 210-ish. I want to get to like 250, 260, because then I would just have 100 pages left. So we're gonna try to do that before I get up and head to the coffee shop. I feel like I can do that by 10. So anywho, it's getting twisty. It's a little too soon for me to have guesses, but I still am gonna go with my first guess, which is somehow a man is gonna be at the center of it. So yeah. Now, if I'm ruining this for you, this book has been out almost 10 years. I think like 2017, maybe it's 2019, I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm not really that sorry. But I do want to say, I think that the person that I'm thinking it is, I think he's gonna somehow be related to the person who owns the building that died, or himself, you know. I don't know, but I love Riley Sager so much. Obviously, this is I don't even know how many books he has. 10 books? I feel like that's right. So I love his books because of the paranormal, like, back and forth. It's like, is this paranormal? Is this something bigger happening? And anyway, okay, let me go read like 50 pages. I'll check back in. I have 100 pages left. I think my guess is true. I also think I'm gonna have to finish this here. The second she said Monet painting on the wall, I said, uh-oh, she is not in a safe hospital. She is not in a safe place. I'm sick. And there's a twist. Okay, I knew somehow Greta was gonna be involved. Why is this evil man still here? Ah, I knew it. I freaking knew it. Okay, things have taken a turn. I was like, oh no, she's in the clear. They're just taking her kidney. Oh my god. This is insane. Girl. Farewell. Farewell, sir. I'm on the epilogue now. We're at 6 months later, thank God. I can't really see what I look like, so that's amazing. It's time to log in. We have the glasses on, so you know it's serious. Let's get my magic journal out. I just sat in the cafe and did my ranking. Been thinking about it. And we have our final tier ranking of Riley Sager books. Okay, we finished the last one today, and here we go. Let's just get into it. He has 10 releases. Now, I did not find out, actually glasses are growing up, until about maybe like 6 months ago, a year ago, that Riley Sager is, what do you call it? Alias isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. Had no clue, but it is. So anyway, that makes a lot of sense why he doesn't do like a lot of social media and stuff like that. And he does some, but he's not like super like other authors doing a lot of social media marketing. Anyway, that's amazing for him. We have 10 books. I read, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 of the 10 books this year. I reread The How to Cross the Lake, and I think that's it. So yeah, anyway, so let's just start. Let's not delay it any further. Let's start with the ranking. Should we start at the top or the bottom? I think I'm gonna start at the top. So one of my favorite thrillers ever, I would say it's probably, well, now kind of The Unknown's up there, but my favorite thriller ever is The Only One Left. That was the first thriller that I read in my life that I was like, wait a minute, where'd this come from? It's one of those books that after you receive the twist, it changes the entire book, and you're like, whoa, I need to go back and reread this because what just happened? And it's so many twists, and it's the last, like, obviously I haven't read it in a few years, but I would say it's probably the last 20% of the book where all these insane twists happen, and then the book's just over, and you're like, whoa, what just happened? Anyway, so I probably should have reread it before I get my ranking, but it's still staying at the top. Close number second is The Unknown. I just finished The Unknown a couple weeks ago, probably like 2 weeks ago, and after Riley Sager's last 2 releases, which were With a Vengeance in the Middle of the Night, I was a little worried that he was never gonna get a book that was as good to me as The Only One Left. And The Unknown, he's so back. He is so back. The Unknown is a perfect summerine, fall, spooky read. It's paranormal, and like all of Riley Sager's writing, which is what I love so much about it, is there's a very fine line between what's paranormal, like you're constantly fighting with the fact of, is this paranormal or is this actually happening, and gaslighting yourself, being like, there's no way this is real, but then somehow it ends up being real, and then there's the explanation obviously in the end as to like what actually happened. Anyhow, I had a really hard time with the rest of my ranking, so I will tell you this disclaimer. The bottom 2, I knew were the bottom 2. The rest kind of sit at the same. So very much tied were The Last Time I Lied and The House Across the Lake. They're both good summery vibes. I do want to put the disclaimer that a lot of people do not like the twist in The House Across the Lake, and I completely forgot about the twist in The House Across the Lake. Because some people say like the twist is a little bit of a cop-out, and I don't disagree, but I really enjoy it because one of my favorite movies ever is Rear Window, and it kind of gives me like summer Rear Window vibes. So I did end up really enjoying it, but The Last Time I Lied kind of feels like I like that one more. It is it's the epitome of summerween. It is at a summer camp. It is so good. I really enjoyed it. Now, the next four are kind of interchangeable. They kind of all at the same level. Survive the Night is what I put after The House Across the Lake. So to refresh, that is sitting at number 5. It is a like close proximity thriller. Basically, the girl is stuck in a car with a serial killer and they're on a road trip, i.e. Survive the Night. There were twists. I was surprised by a few, but overall it was a good thriller that I'd recommend to people, but it wasn't like groundbreaking as to his other ones to me. So next is With a Vengeance. I really like Agatha Christie and that type of thriller. I will say the ending felt a little flat. It was like such good build up, and then it kind of hit a plateau like a little bit towards the middle end. So yeah. Anyhow, next is Lock Every Door and then Home Before Dark. Those are the last two I read. I actually really like Lock Every Door, but I called one of there was a twist that I got that was like a surprise to me, but it was a little like, I guess what it was, and kind of the same with Home Before Dark, because I also, as you guys saw, finished that recently, and the twist I called pretty early on who it was going to be. But they were both really good books and books I would recommend. Very paranormal, spooky vibes, ghosty vibes. Next is Final Girls. It wasn't my favorite. There wasn't necessarily anything super wrong with the book. I did enjoy it, and I do want to read. Someone suggested when I got that to read How to Survive a Horror Story or something. It's a Grady Hendrix book. I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it on the screen because they said it's similar vibes. And then last is Middle of the Night. And what I have to say about Middle of the Night is I almost didn't finish it. I DNF'd it for a year, and last summer I didn't have any other book that was really grasping me, and I finished the last half of it at the beach, and on the way home from the beach it was actually Kira's Bachelorette. I will say it's not lost on me that the only Riley Sager book that is told in a man's POV is the one that I hate the most. So I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't realize until today when I was thinking about it, and I was like, what is it that I didn't enjoy so much about it? And I realized it's because out of all of them, that one has like the least paranormal, and like it feels the most real. It's about a boy who disappears in the middle of the night camping out with his like childhood best friend, and it's now like, I don't know, like 20 years later, and the childhood best friend moves back home and is kind of forced to sit with his feelings of what happened so many years ago. And anyway, so it felt very real. It didn't feel as like escapism as the others, so I think that's part of it. I think just also I wasn't pulled in like I was with his other books, and it was the one right after The Only One Left, so I would venture to say that a lot of people probably feel the same way because The Only One Left was such an overnight success. I've heard a lot of the same feelings about Middle of the Night. I think that that's probably how a lot of people feel. I know a lot of people have loved it, but that's just my feelings. It just fell very flat for me like throughout the entire thing, and it was really hard for me to finish. I just wasn't that attached. So anyhow, that's my ranking. Excited to see what his book will be next year. I am excited because I can say I finished all of them, but also very sad because he is my favorite thriller author. So yeah, I think I'm going to later go back and pick up a thriller I saw at Oxfam. It was like €3, €2, and I just saw the third video. Someone suggested it to me, and then I just saw 2 or 3 TikToks in the past like few days suggesting it. So I think I'm gonna go get that. But anyhow, that's it. Hi girls. Okay, so I just finished giving my feedback. I can't remember if I came on summarized the 2 books or if I just took clips of me reading them. So I'm filming this just in case so I don't have to refilm this. But basically, Home Before Dark, I've actually already donated it back. So it is now on the shelves of Oxfam somewhere. And I really enjoyed it. I will say it is perfect for Halloween. Like, I think that is the perfect spooky wooky vibe. A haunted house book is not necessarily one I'm always gonna go for. Like, it's not necessarily like a favorite by any means, but I wanted to read it because I wanted to say that I've read every Riley Sager book. And I had tried to read Home Before Dark maybe like 2 times. I know I've owned it before. And I just couldn't get into it. It was a little hard for me to get into once again, but once I was in there, I was hooked. I do like how it's formatted, where it's based on our main female character, and her dad wrote a book called House of Horrors, so it goes back between his writing and what's happening current day. And so little by little, you're learning more and more about the story and their dynamics and everything, and trying to figure out what's paranormal, what's real life, is this really like something crazy, like what is going on. I really enjoyed it. I will say I wasn't really shocked by the like final twist. I called who was actually like in charge of it, or who was behind everything, as soon as the 2 characters like met in current day. I was like, oh, she's definitely got something to do with this. And then so I called that. There was one twist I didn't see, but for the most part, it was like pretty predictable to me. And yeah, I enjoyed it though. It was still a good haunted, ghostly, ghouly vibe. It just wasn't my favorite ever. But it's still a very well-written book. And yeah, anyhow, moving on to Lock Every Door. That's what I read today. I really, really enjoyed it. I liked it. It was set in New York. It was kind of set in an Only Murders in the Building type building. And it's basically set in this building that is a very historic building, a very infamous building that our main character doesn't really realize until after she's accepted the job. Basically, she accepts the job, $12,000, to come and move in, take care of this vacant apartment that she's been told is someone who's passed, and someone needs to like sit it for 3 months until the family can getting everything settled from the death and all that kind of stuff. So basically she moves in and she meets someone. They form a quick bond. They say they're going to meet the next day in the park. She goes, the person never comes. She comes back to her apartment and there's a note waiting for her, and she starts to realize everything is not as it seems. And the rest of the book, we're basically trying to figure out what happened to this girl, what's going on. Obviously there's weird things going on. She has this strict set of rules she's not supposed to be breaking, but she breaks them continuously, and she quickly realizes that there's eyes on her and she can't really figure out who's doing what. And eventually it comes to a head, which I called who it was going to be, but then the twist, it got me good. I had no clue that was about to happen. And I think if you read a lot of thrillers, it was probably a little predictable, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I rated both of them 4 stars. I think they're great spooky vibes, and I think, as always, Riley Sager writes amazing paranormal thrillers, and I really enjoyed it. So, hope you guys decide to pick them up. I'll see you guys in the next video. My camera's dying. Love you.